Hi guys, welcome back to Mountain Mount Projects. This is the video of how a foundation is being filled in a waterlogged area or a swamp area. So as you can see, this is a foundation that is really strong. The piling has been done and this is the foundation. So we're going to be filling this foundation and rammering it, which is preparing it for the German floor in this video. You can see the compound. A small portion has been used for the foundation for the building of a one-story building. You can see the surrounding is already nice. There are neighbors around, so this project is going to be really interesting. You can see that's the foundation from the background. The place is already being developed. There is a neighbor building his own one-story building duplex there too. You can see. So we need to confirm the wood for moving before we can start, because that's where the wheelbarrows will be pushed through to fill in the place step by step. So it needs to be double checked, so the sand won't waste when they are pushing it on the way up there, because it's a swamp area, so the foundation needs to be really high. That is why you can see the foundation is high, and there has to be like a wooden staircase made before you can get to the foundation. A solid job needs to be done so you can have a solid building. You can see why it needs to be filled properly. You can see there is water already at the base of the foundation, so the surroundings need to be filled properly, and inside the foundations too need to be filled properly and rammed properly, because it's a waterlogged area. Now we have brought the first 2 trips of sand to start with the filling. It's a day by day process. You can't finish the filling in one day, except you might be doing some magic. So here it is. It has been filled, the 2 trips of sand. It has filled the first 2 portions of the foundation. So it wasn't an easy work, but it has started and the process is ongoing. You can see the sand is being poured, and now after this we're going to see more trips of sand being poured to make sure the foundation is filled up to the last end. It's not an easy work, because spending money for filling in swamp area is not easy, but if it was a dry land you won't need to spend so much. So the second day, coming to check up on the sand. Yeah, it's going well, and the rain also helps. When it rains, it makes the sand sink more, so it's going to become more stronger. You can see the compound is already cleared. Now it's looking good, ready for the next trip of sand coming in, and so that the workers can see clearly where they are going. That's why we need to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So guys, this is how to fill your foundation in a waterlogged area or in a swamp area. It's not easy, but what needs to be done has to be done. In all these parts of Lagos, they call it swamp area, but that's where the money is right now. That's where a lot of people can invest. Here is another trip of sand to continue the work. And as you can see, as they are pushing the wheelbarrows up, it's not easy. Some of the sand have to pour sideways, and the filling is done. We see we filled 4 of the holes, and there are 10 holes, so it's remaining 6 holes left to fill. So it's all good. The work is ongoing, everything looking good. The sand is going and sinking in. We can't believe how much sand this is taking. This is already 4 trips of sand. Now we are bringing another trip of sand. The holes are so deep, it's like my height, so it's taking so much sand. each portion is taking a lot of sand. Each portion is taking like one full trip of sand. So you can see that's why we need to pull more sand, and that's why it's more expensive building in a swamp area. And that's why it's always very expensive to rent houses in swamp area, and that is why we have to build standard houses in swamp area, because you can't spend so much money on filling and your house is not standard. That is why swamp areas develop more. You can see I'm taking you through the parts of the foundation that still needs to be filled. You can see some water there in the holes, so that's why it needs to be properly filled, because I can't emphasize filling your compound in this swamp area is always very important. Now you can see the compound is looking fresh, ready for the next strip of sand. And you can see the house around the neighbor too is also proceeding with his project. Now more sand, more sand, more sand. That's what it is. That's what we need to keep doing. Since we are filling, we have to keep bringing more sand and more sand. Continue the job. Now you can see two, we filled 4 holes fully now. Now we need to fill up 3 more holes that are very deep and big. It's not easy because each trip of sand is costing about let's say $150. So you can imagine how much trip, and filling this whole foundation is taking us up to about 15 trips, because it's 10 O's, like, and there are two small O's right there beside too. So that's why it's taking a lot of sand, and this is just for the foundation only. So you can imagine how much cost it will still be to fill all around the sides too. You can see the filling is proceeding. Now we can walk up to this level. Before, you need to go through the middle and be careful, but now it's easier. So that's what it is. That's how filling up the foundation looks like. And then you can see the workers working. It's actually hectic. It's not easy, but nothing good comes easy. So you just have to put in the work, and once you put in the work, it will pay off for you. So that's how it's done. It has to be done carefully. Bring up the sand and pour it. So more sand is all you need. Just keep bringing more sand. So that's why I said it's about, let's say, 10 to 15 trips filling up this foundation. Now this is the way from the gate you enter through the compound. Now the filling is proceeding, so we're getting ready for German floor. But before we can do the German floor, we have to rammer it. So that's why you can see we are like rushing it. So once the filling is done, we can proceed with rammering, then we can do the German floor. It's a good feeling doing all these projects and building in a place that has a bright future ahead, because you can see the surrounding is really really nice, and the land is big enough. It's big enough for another foundation right in front. So all these parts on the compound will have the sock pit. Then you can see the foundation is as high as me. Then the behind of the foundation also, we have the tank base where we put the water tank and everything. So you can see the filling is done now. Yeah, just one hole is left, and as one hole is left, we are already preparing for hammering. So we won't waste any time. As soon as the filling is done, we do the hammering right away. You can see the people who are to do the hammering already here. They are preparing themselves. You can see the equipments and the hose for the water. So before hammering, needs to be well watered and filled with water well. So when the hammering is being done, it will be easy. There are two ways of doing the hammering. You can use the machine way, and you can use the manual way. So we are using the manual way to cut down the costs. You understand? Because we spend so much cost on the filling. So this is how it's done manually. You have to dig to get water because it's a swamp area. So we've dug and we've gotten water. So the pumping machine will be used to pump the water onto the foundation on the sand, and everywhere is going to be rammed. Once the sand is wet, it will be easy. You can see the process of the rammering. The rammering is being done, and so this is how the rammering looks once it's done. You can see the mark there that the sand has been matched together. Now the sand is on a flat surface. When the filling was done, it was just poured and the sands were looking scattered. But now the sand is wet, it has been rammed to make it go deep inside. Now the site is ready for German floor. So you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get step-by-step updates of how to build your next house.